Alec Baldwin did not take kindly to Elon Musk's comments that appeared to undermine or dismiss Lupita Nyong'o's casting as Helen of Troy in the upcoming film, The Odyssey, a cinematic adaptation inspired by Homer's ancient epic poem. The reaction from Baldwin came across as direct and emotionally charged, reflecting a clear disagreement with the public remarks that had circulated online and sparked wider discussion around casting, interpretation of mythological figures, and perceptions of beauty tied to legendary characters whose stories have been retold for centuries. The controversy centered around Musk's apparent frustration regarding Nyong'o portraying Helen of Troy, a figure from Greek mythology whose beauty was traditionally described as so extraordinary that it became the catalyst for one of the most famous conflicts in ancient literature, the Trojan War. According to mythological accounts, Helen's abduction by the Trojan prince Paris led to a chain of events that ignited a decade-long war between the Greeks and the city of Troy, a war that has been retold endlessly through literature, theater, and film as a defining story of love, desire, pride, and destruction. Musk's remarks, as they were presented in the public discourse, questioned the suitability of Nyong'o for a role associated with such legendary beauty, framing the discussion in terms of physical appearance and traditional interpretations of the character. Within the same production, Nyong'o is also set to take on the role of Clytemnestra, Helen's sister, a figure in Greek mythology who is also known for her beauty, but is not associated with the same mythological impact or narrative consequence as Helen. While Clytemnestra is an important figure in the broader mythological family, her story is more closely tied to themes of betrayal, vengeance, and tragedy, following the events of the Trojan War, rather than being the direct cause of the war itself. This dual casting choice placed Nyong'o in a unique interpretive position within the film, portraying two related but distinct mythological women whose stories intersect with the larger narrative of the Trojan cycle. It was in response to this broader conversation that Alec Baldwin stepped in publicly to defend Nyong'o. Using Instagram as his platform, Baldwin addressed Musk directly in a short but pointed message, writing, "Dear Elon, but she is the most beautiful woman in the world," alongside a posted image of Nyong'o. His words carried a tone of emphatic disagreement, not only with the specific criticism, but with the underlying sentiment that beauty could be narrowly defined or disputed in relation to casting decisions for mythological roles. The simplicity of his message contrasted with the intensity of the broader debate, turning his statement into a clear counterpoint to the criticism that had circulated online. The discussion, however, had already gained momentum before Baldwin's response, beginning with comments made by political commentator and podcast host Matt Walsh on X. Walsh posted a remark suggesting that he did not believe that anyone would genuinely consider Lupita Nyong'o to be the most beautiful woman in the world. His statement was framed in a way that directly challenged the idea of her casting in relation to the mythological standard of Helen of Troy, whose beauty has been culturally mythologized to the point of being almost symbolic rather than literal. Walsh's post added fuel to an already active online debate, as it questioned both the casting choice and the broader creative direction of the film. Walsh, who has often been a controversial figure and has faced criticism from detractors who accuse him of promoting white supremacist views and circulating racially charged conspiracy narratives, extended his argument beyond Nyong'o herself and directed attention toward the director of the film. He suggested that Christopher Nolan, the filmmaker associated with the project, would face accusations of racism if he had chosen a white actress for the role of Helen of Troy, implying that casting decisions were being influenced by social pressures rather than creative intent. In his remarks, Walsh characterized Nolan as technically talented but lacking courage, suggesting that the director might be too cautious to make choices that could provoke cultural criticism or controversy. His framing positioned the casting decision as part of a broader cultural tension surrounding representation, adaptation, and artistic interpretation.